The idea of Krama & Co came to me when I was in Cambodia with my husband. I was just devastated to see this beautiful country with a rich history, but it had been so devastated. I'd keep seeing these people using and wearing krama, and on this particular day we were on the bamboo train, which is this amazing railway line that is disused because it's so buckled. And what the locals do, which is really ingenious, is they put down bamboo platforms with motors and they take people up and down. As we were sitting there on the train and we pulled up, I saw this woman. She was holding her bike and each end of her krama was tied to the handlebars, and it was a bike seat for her child. It just struck me. In that instant, I took a photo and I thought, you know what, I could actually do something for these people. I can use the krama to make a difference. So the krama is essentially seen as the national symbol of Cambodia. When we talk about Cambodia and we talk about the ingenuity of the Khmer people and how they use a krama, we're also letting people know about Cambodia and how beautiful it is, how wonderful it is, but also the difficulties it faces. In Cambodia, a lot of women have to leave home and go to the city or another country to work to feed their family. Many women are working in the fashion industry and they're being paid a pittance. It's a really devastating industry to work in. It's such a negative industry in so many ways. We decided we wanted to be a social enterprise. When we're a social enterprise, it means that we are a business and we partner with weavers and they are businesswomen. It means we can sustain ourselves because we are a business. We don't rely on funding. Nita and I are both co-founders. So Nita is the co-founder. She runs everything in Cambodia. So Nita was introduced to me by a woman that I knew on Facebook, and she said, I've worked with this woman in Cambodia and I really feel she would be really interested in making a difference. And Nita just agreed to do it. She doesn't know me, we've never met, we've never been in the same room. I'd hate to think what it did to her car, but she went to all these far out villages to find people making krama. What I learned about Nita as time went on is that Nita actually was born in a refugee camp on the border of Thailand and Cambodia, and she lived there until she was 5, so most of her life she was brought up in a krama because her mother used one as a sling. A lot of people in Cambodia live in houses that are on stilts, and underneath they would have their loom. A whole line of them, so all their friends are there. The children are playing around them, the chickens are running around, and they hand loom them. That skill is a skill that's passed on from generation to generation. When we buy off a weaver, she can make that money and she can make her krama amongst her daily life. And we pay twice to 3 times as much as a weaver would get if she sold it herself or if she sold it at a market. So I'll put an order together, a wish list of what I want, and Nita will go out to the village and she'll try and fill that list. Often that's not the case. She buys whatever they've made, and because Nita's got such good taste, it just doesn't matter. We just run with what she's got for us. Every time we buy a krama off a weaver, we put $1 aside into a village fund. The idea with that is that the weavers can get to decide how we spend that money. So we've had the medical team in 3 times now, we're about to line up for a 4th time. It turns into this beautiful day in the village where everyone sits around and catches up, and that's a really cool thing that come out of it that I didn't even really think about when we set that up. A whole medical team, three doctors, 2 nurses, turning up and setting up a medical clinic in the middle of their village is not something these people could do otherwise. Every time she sends through photos, I well up, it's amazing. What we've set out to do is so many things. I often call it weaving in the goodness. We set out to be sustainable. We set out to do good. So every choice we make, those are the things that we think of. We put our weavers first, as they are the most important. So when we have something we want to do, Nita will always go out and discuss it with the weavers, and if they say that doesn't work for them, we won't do it. We love getting behind things like Fashion Revolution and really kind of pushing the mould out. We chose charities that were founded by New Zealand women or have a really strong history in supporting women. Krama & Co is run by 2 women, it's funded by a woman. Krama are made by women. it just makes sense that we just wrap that all up into women. Running Krama & Co is about celebrating the ingenuity of the Kumai people and celebrating this amazing product. I love showing that the Krama is used by women in the fields. They put it in their hair to keep dust off them, and it's used as a sling for babies, it's used as a hammock. The men often wear them around their waist. The Krama just has so many uses. So typically in New Zealand people would buy one to wear as a scarf, but a lot of people have really embraced the fact that they do have so many uses, and I love hearing all their different uses. My children have this beautiful thing they do, they call it Rapunzel. So one of the children is at the top of the slide and they throw down the Krama, and the other child is at the bottom and they pull each other up. This latest line that came out of Krama, I just said to my daughter, do you want to name these ones? May's got a favourite book called Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls, which has a whole heap of stories from women throughout history that have done amazing things. And she went through and she matched the Krama with rebel girls that she really admired. One of the women May chose was Jane Goodall. A couple of months after she did that, she actually had the opportunity to gift Jane Goodall her Krama. It's just been amazing for my girls to see what we've grown. So what keeps me going is probably just knowing the difference we're making. I often thought about the mothers in Cambodia that just, they just wanted to feed their kids. There's been times that it was just so hard to run this and I've been so tired and it was just too much. But at the end of the day, I've got a village full of women waiting for the next order. They are waiting for Nita to turn up saying, I need more. And so at the end of the day, I think about those guys. I think about the promise I've made to them. We have a beautiful product. It's a stunning product. And even without knowing our story, people are happy to buy it. They love Krama. They fall in love with Krama. And then when I go into a little bit about who we are and what we do and why we do it, there's just been so many people that have just gone, oh well, if that's the case, I want one. I need to have this. It's just nice to do something that's contributing positively, and it makes other people think about what they're doing as well. We want to sell more Krama, we want to work with more weavers and more villages, we want to spread the word. From there, the sky's the limit.